Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Sir Mr. Clean, and we're back with another movie review. This time, Supergirl, the second movie in the rebooted James Gunn DC universe. Um, there's some big shoes to fill because I really enjoyed Superman. Um, I really had a great time with the first movie. I think David Cornswent did a great job as Superman, and Nicholas Holt as Lex Luthor. I thought was really good, and just kind of explaining everybody, like bringing in, Guy Gardner and some of the other folks. Um, it was a really good movie. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I finally have the new Crest T-shirt. I actually just found it today, so I'm really excited about that. I'm glad I'll be able to wear it while I'm giving my review. I did not get to wear it last night when I went to see Supergirl, which, let's just cut to the chase. I really enjoyed Supergirl. I had read some. I didn't deep read reviews, but I saw review scores. 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. That's was most of the reviews that I was seeing. I don't typically read movie reviews before I go see a movie because most movies, like, I kind of know if I'm gonna like it. Um, I like comic book movies. Like, I don't think there's really a bad comic book movie. There's some that are definitely lower than others. Um, I can't compare to Aquaman 2 because I did not see Aquaman 2. But I did see Madam Web, and that is one of the kind of lower comic book movies. And that was mainly because they just did so much in such a very short amount of time. Had they played that out longer, maybe even over the course of a couple movies, I think that to me, that would have worked a lot better. I think Sony's kind of, aside from Spider-Man, is kind of messing up on a lot of their other superhero movies. I don't enjoy them as much. I did like Venom. Venom was cool. Super campy. Second movie was not great. Third movie was better, I thought, but Venom's been fun too. But back to Supergirl. Like I said, I enjoyed it way more than most critics are. Even probably some of the audience scores. I see the audience scores are in the 70s, and I'm probably going to give this like an 8 out of 10. Definitely not a perfect movie, not even a great movie. I would say it's really good. I had a lot of fun with it. The hero moments I got teared up at, but I'm also a sucker for hero moments. So like the first time that you kind of see her. Oh, by the way, I probably will be spoiling some stuff. So if you don't want spoilers, you've now heard that I at least liked it and I gave it about an 8 out of 10. So I would stop here and come back later after you've seen it. The hero moments I think were really good. When she like kind of first gets the yellow sun power and saves all the people on the transport ship. I kind of teared up there, but like even going back and watching like the original Superman, like the first time he rips open his shirt and he's running down the alley or going into the phone booth or whatever, or through the revolving door, like I just get teared up in hero moments. I'll tell you what, one of the places that I still tear up one of the most is at the very beginning of Lord of the Rings Two Towers, when they do the kind of, when they replay the Gandalf fighting the Balrog scene and he goes down, he falls down and he fights him. Like, I still tear up when the camera's zooming into the side of the mountain. Like, I just love hero moments. So I'm a sucker for those. And if you can do those well, you're probably going to win me over because those always stick with me. And then the second hero moment is when she shows up with the suit on and just starts wrecking. And both of those, I got emotional and I teared up a little bit and I had to kind of catch my breath. It was pretty cool, I have to say. Like I said, I'm a sucker for hero moments. So if you do that right, you will tend to get my affection for the movie a little bit more. It'll probably up your score slightly with me. What's up, WD? Good to see you, buddy. So, the other things that I liked about it, Jason Momoa as Lobo, I thought was really good. I really enjoyed him. Kind of, campy in some areas, but I've heard that's like how he is in the comic. Like, he's got a lot of one-liners, and he's just kind of a jerk and like a bounty hunter in it for the money. So I thought they did that pretty well. I'm glad there wasn't too much of him to kind of take away from the rest of the story. I do think, with regard to story and pacing, that's probably the weakest part of the movie. Um, I think they crammed like three major storylines into the movie, and I've heard critics say this too, but like none of them were like spectacular, right? They were all pretty mid stories. And had they reduced that and maybe had two major storylines and really focused on them, that maybe the pacing would have felt better and some of the payoffs would have been better. Ultimately, like I didn't enjoy the villain that much. He seemed kind of just like a gang leader. He didn't really seem to have special powers. Um, like basically once Supergirl was powered up by Yellow Sun, she was unstoppable. And maybe that's kind of how it is all the time with the superheroes. Like I with the super family, like the Superman, Supergirl, Wonder Woman, like all the really super powerful beings. Um, I've never read any DC comics. I think the only thing I've read was the four Superman comics after Doomsday killed Superman, where there was like four different Supermen showed up. I read like the first comic of each one of those. Um, I wonder if I still have those comics because those had really cool covers. Um, but like out of DC, I never really read anything else. I never read Batman, even though I love Batman. I've never read Batman. I've never read Flash. I've never read anything Superman or Supergirl. So I did order the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow that just this morning. I had a $30 credit on Amazon and I found it hardcover for 30 bucks. So I ordered it. I will be getting it in a few days and I will be reading it. I'm very excited to read a bit more about Supergirl. I really enjoyed also how they did a lot of the flashbacks. So there was actually quite a few flashbacks to Krypton, as Krypton was kind of being destroyed and them kind of residing on Argos for years after Krypton was kind of destroyed inside this shield that is it Zor-El? Is that Kara Zor-El, right? So Zor-El, is that her dad? I don't remember what his first name is. Maybe it's just Zor-El. Um, but having them live there for a while, having her see her mom die, and then everything kind of going to crap, and then having to fly away. So she definitely comes from a much darker background, and so I appreciated those flashbacks to really show us like what she went through because Clark came to Earth as a baby, as a very young child, like 2 years old or 1 or 2 years old by the time he got to Earth, I think. Maybe even younger. I know sometimes they show him as a walking 1.5 year old, maybe, or 2 year old. Sometimes he's even younger. I'm not sure where they landed with this one because I'm not sure they actually showed that in Superman. Um, but I enjoyed that her story was darker, and that's why she is struggling as much as she is. And so having them kind of play that out was pretty good. It was I felt like it was pretty quick for her to make a transition from the beginning of the movie, not really caring about anything, wanting to be off planet all the time until the end when she's like, "All right, I'm ready to stay. This is going to be my home." Um, I'm interested to see what Man of Tomorrow will show us next year when the next Superman movie comes out, because she's supposed to have a much larger role, and so maybe they'll really play into the conflict between um, her and Kal-El. So I'm excited for that. I think they did a really good job setting that up. I don't think they finished it here. I think it felt a little fast, but moving if you treat it as a maybe a trilogy of movies, maybe that it will really help and conclude kind of their arc in the third movie. So I'm excited for that possibility. We'll see what happens. I haven't been reading about it much, so I really don't know what it's about. But I did hear James Gunn say that there was going to be kind of this uh, conflict between Kara and like the way that they're going to butt heads a bit on the way that they do things. Because Kara, I mean, killed a dude right in front of us in this movie. Like, you guys all saw it, right? Two stabs with a sword, one was right into the neck. Like, it was pretty rough. And like Superman doesn't intentionally like kill anybody. Um in the first movie, we saw him injure lots of people and maybe accidentally kill people as collateral, which we've always been a little weird about, right? Like in Man of Steel, that was a huge problem for a lot of people, is they destroyed like half of Metropolis and half these people died. And then that became a theme running forward into like Batman versus Superman and etc. But she like straight up did it. And it was pretty I did not think that was going to happen, and that it totally did. And I was like, whoa, they went there. Um, so I think her mentality is much more ruthless than Superman's, and it comes from their background. So I'm glad that they really put an exclamation point on that at the end. I thought that was cool. The only experience I have with Supergirl is the CW Supergirl, which was she was much more not like this. Like she was more like Superman, much more optimistic, much more happy go lucky. You know, I don't think she wanted to kill people as much as other people did. She was more like her cousin. They were much more similar, which it worked. I enjoyed it a lot. I really enjoyed the CW DC arcs. A couple of them were really campy, but most of them were pretty good. So yeah, I really enjoyed this. I hope that audience scores will boost people's confidence in going to see it, because I want more in this DC universe. I'm excited for Lanterns. I'm excited for Clayface. Um, I'm excited for Man of Tomorrow next year. I think it's a solid start. Superman was really good. This was probably almost as good as Superman. I actually might go see this again in the theater if my daughters want to go see it. I might go see it again with them. So I'm looking forward to it. So I said 8 out of 10. I might be a little lower than that, but roughly 8 out of 10. If I had to round, I'd probably be 8 out of 10. I'm probably closer to an 8 than a 7. Um, I think there's definitely some issues with pacing and some story, and there were some musical choices I thought were a little weird, and of some campy one-liners, especially from Lobo. Um, Overall, though, I think it was pretty good, and I enjoyed it, and I had a good time with it, and I really like the flashbacks. Seeing Argos and seeing what happened in Krypton, and the difference between the parents, Kara's parents versus Kal-El's parents. I thought it was interesting. Oh, they also kind of reinforced. There was like one line, and if you didn't see it because it was subtitled, if you didn't see it, then you totally missed it. But there was one line that really uh, confirmed the whole suspicion from what Lex Luthor said in Superman, was that Clark was sent there as a conqueror of Earth, um, and they did not. Kara's parents did not agree with that sentiment, um, which I thought was very interesting, and I was glad that they confirmed it for sure. Because at first, like you could think in the first movie that maybe like Lex was lying to him. I think he believed it, but as an audience member, I was like, well, I've never heard this story this way before, that like his parents wanted him to conquer Earth and make like human women his concubines. Like that seemed so dark. Like, wow. But the fact that they confirmed that, now we know that Clark is making the choice to be as good as he is. And Kara's parents wanted her to be good as well. And hopefully seeing them come together in the next movie is going to be really satisfying. So I think you should see it in the theater. I think it's a lot of fun. I think people are hating on it for a lot of weird reasons. But I do agree with people talking about story being a little there, a little, I mean, just there, and not, and more mid than like really positive. But I think that's because they tried to tell three different stories, and none of them were as great as they probably should have been. Um, but overall, the action was great. Visuals were great. Acting was really good. I like Kara. I like this Kara. I like Millie Alcock as Kara. I think it's going to be really good moving forward. So that's my take. 8 out of 10. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out. Make sure you follow, like, subscribe, do all the good stuff, and we'll see you in the next movie review.